Look, there's coloured pictures of the elk, or the mooses. So the moose's horns posted up on trees back there. But yeah, good morning! Welcome back. We are now... that guy overtook me ages ago. Yoink! Slow and steady wins the race, eh? But yeah, we are back on the Norwegian adventure with me, AndyManCam, on my KTM 1090 adventure. Crossing this epic looking river. That's massive. The River Glomma, I think. Yeah, you joined me shortly after where I left you yesterday, a couple of miles further down the main road, because as you remember, yesterday's initial trail section was actually closed. What that means is I've plumbed in a different one from Atna, the Atnaveien. So hopefully still going to get a little bit of off-road action. But it was really quite a nice, fresh, relaxing, easy-paced ride down the motorway. Another very cool bridge, the Atnabro. Bridge is made of wood for the win. With the mountains peeking out over the trees to the right, and then the huge surging river, the train tracks next to that. It just seemed like everything was rushing in the same direction, and almost no traffic. I've got to enjoy all of these views pretty much all to myself. But today, potentially going to be a bit of a long day. The plan is to head cross-country, literally, off-road cross-country as much as possible, in a southwesterly direction, crossing through Lillehammer and then ending up somewhere roughly halfway between here and Larvik, where I'm getting the ferry the day after tomorrow. The only problem is, as always, not a single clue how many of these roads and trails are going to be open, so got to suck it and see. Get on, get off-road, see what we can and see what we can't ride. So grab yourself a cuppa, let's get on with it. Here we go, the off-road begins, and the squirming on the front end as well. That is squirmy enough to stand up, I think. It's possibly what she said. Get the old legs warmed up. I haven't really moved much this morning yet. Let's get physical, physical. I wanna get physical. Let's get into physical. Let me hear your body talk. Oh no, gravelly corner. Okay, serious business now. Oh yeah, the old joints are stiff. Struggling to get the hips out. Beautiful conditions though. Sun dappling through the trees. Temperature is 7 degrees right now. That was a ruined nice corner, thanks to sticking it in neutral, you end. The motor in this bike is an absolute stonker. It's between 4,000 and 5,000 RPM, fourth gear. It just purrs along. No aggressive buzz, no horrible vibration. Plenty of push if I want it. Oh, look at that, back onto the road. That gravel section was supposed to add 30 to 40 minutes to my journey time. I mean, I think it was worth it, but if I'm completely honest, I think at that pace, I was making at least as good a progress as I would have done on the road with the speed limits around here. I mean, if you're going to have a little bit of road in between your off-road, it might as well be a good bit, eh? Look at that. Motocross track, that's awesome. And it's open. Oh, if only I had time. Too many miles to cover, and too much sand for my liking. We're here for trail riding, not motocrossing. Are you sure? Well, we came here to ride trails, I suppose. So this is more green lane though, isn't it? It looks green. It's very soft. Very well kept though for a forest road. Such a grandad talking about how well kept the forest road is. Jesus. And look at the well trimmed hedges. Massive rock sticking all over the place. Yeah, and then back onto the road. That was a cool little cut through. That's us arriving in Imsroa, which means that my modified section of today's route has now come to an end. I need to just pull over, plug in the next section. And then this is where it gets interesting, because at this point we find out whether I can go cross country or if I have to carry on the road all the way down to the other main road to then go across. If everything goes according to plan, we've only got 161 kilometers to destination, but hopefully most of that will be off the road. If that doesn't pan out, then it could be a lot more, because we're going to have to do an almighty detour to go around on the main road. So fingers crossed, Daumen gedrückt, as the Germans say. No idea what Norwegians say. So apparently we come up here, which seems a bit odd, but you know what, I'll go with it. We are raking in the foresty roads today so far. Ooh, rutty, rutty, rutty.
This is closed.
It's closed?
Yeah.
Oh.
The road is closed. There's a lot of snow on the mountains.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame.
You must drive around.
It's a long way. That's a shame. When does it normally open?
This year is a lot of snow. Normally it's open in the start of June, but this year it's middle of June, I think. Maybe
okay. There's more snow than usual this year.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, I've heard that a few times.
I think 2 weeks maybe.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I don't have that long.
No. But
okay,
it's very beautiful over the mountain.
I'll have to come back another time.
Yes, you must do that.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And have a good day.
Bye bye.
There we go. That is that. You heard it from the very lovely blurry-faced Norwegian man. We will call him Blurrigan. Thank you, Blurrigan. But unfortunately, I've got to go around. It's a real wound, that is. So yeah, back down to there. Work out another detour. See if hopefully the roads after Lillehammer will be open. We'll see. Right, I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to take advantage of this little picnic bench, have a tea break in the sun, work out what the next step is. See you in a sec. Well, that's a bit of a shame. The Birkebeinerveien is stinkt, but thankfully the detour looks like it's pretty special as well. But by now you know the drill. Kick back, enjoy this musical intermission, and we'll talk in 2 or 3 minutes' time. Hey Cardo, music off. Hail Mary, right out of left field. That sign says this road goes to Ringabu, and Ringabu is where I'm headed to. So what I'm gonna do is try and go right through. It's gonna be closed, isn't it? But if you don't try, you'll never know. But it looks like trail riding is back on. And this gravel road actually then intersects the detour that I'd already planned, so a bit of a win there. And it looked like it was quite a long one as well, so result. The first part of the day's riding is saved. I think that is a view that I could stop and have a mid-morning muesli bar moment to. Because what have I said in the past about benches on hills? Right, and there we go, back on the main road, back on the original route. And then I'm going to cut a left and take the mountain road, tarmac road, through these mountains, kind of back in the direction I've just sort of come from, to cut back down across to Ringebu, where I should have ended up had another road not been closed. Nice of them not to mention it when it was signposted to Ringebu from the other end. So on the way to Ringebu, it's sadly true, I could not get through. Here we go again. Ringebu. So hopefully this will be a super wriggly, enjoyable little twisty mountain road of the full 52 kilometers to Ringebu, where I'll probably have a little lunch break, have a cup of tea, and maybe contemplate my life choices again. Changed direction on this bike so quick despite its massive size. But I think 12 kilos off the weight will have helped that a bit. Plus I've probably only got about 5 litres of fuel in the tank right now. So we are on lightweight mode, big time. And that road heads down to Imsroa, where we started this morning, kind of. And that's got a dead end sign, so can't go that way. So this is the last option now. If this doesn't work, I basically have to go back to the main road again and then just go around like I maybe should have done this morning. Although the journey is the destination, isn't it? And yeah, the riding has been very enjoyable. The only thing is, it's going to end up being a very long day by the time I get far enough that tomorrow isn't going to be an astronomically long day. As Roy Kent would say, fudge. I suppose the only other option is I can just take off directly cross country, really use my knobblies for what they're meant for, and go in a straight line. Are you kidding? You want me to die? Oh, how little value you lot place on my life. Right, back to the main road. We're going round. There's no other way through. This mountain is obviously so snowed in, it's just not happening. Bloody snow. As pretty as you are probably harshing my vibe. Some of these bits of this road are so rough they could be off-road. For noises that come off the tyre when it hits a rough patch. Another white rabbit. Should I follow this one? I'd love to. I've been trying all f***ing day. Road, the sport mode throttling is a bit more choppy, kicks a little bit as it comes back in, not my favourite. There's a thunk that I thought sport throttling was better off-road than on. Right then, well here we are at the main road again. What is this, the third time, fourth time? I don't know. But this means I've now got a big long detour of about 100 kilometres I think to get round to Lillehammer. So this time once again I'm going to stop and get some fuel, stick in my earplugs, crank out these miles. I mean, they're going to be enjoyable miles, they're still going to look good, but there's not going to be a great deal happening. So, you know what's coming. Kick yourself back in your seat, get your feet up, make a sandwich, and I'll see you on the other side. Hey Cardo, music on. Was a slog. Sadly, it's not over yet. Still got about 30 kilometres to go, but not to Lillehammer, because as my optimism knows no bounds, despite all of the disappointment, I'm going to a place called Sjøsjøen. I bet Norwegians love foreigners coming here and pronouncing everything wrong. But yeah, that place where I'm hoping I can get on the last section of the road that I would have taken over these mountains had they not been so covered in snow. So let's go and see if that's a possibility, or if today is a complete write-off, because there's definitely no snow around here. Oh, that's a fine machine. Oh, smells delightful as well. So now we've arrived in Sjøsjøen, we'll be able to take a left turn onto the Nordseterveien, which connects this town, whose name I've already mispronounced enough times, and Lillehammer. So we'll see. As I said, my optimism knows no bounds. If I wasn't hopeful, I wouldn't be here. The Beeline is telling me I'm 110 kilometres off the route. There's obviously 110 kilometres off the start of the route, which is incredible that that's how little distance I've covered, despite having covered in total today 413 kilometres. It's been an epic day. Impressive views once again. I bet it's incredible as winter's creeping in and all of this gradually, bit by bit, becomes white again. Or, I don't know, does it all happen in one night? Does it just kind of go, bosh, suddenly it's snowed, everything's white? Look at this absolute hero. Some arm fitness there, my friend, as if cycling up this madness wasn't enough for you. Apparently this actually is, oh look at that, Beeline's now come to life. This is the route, but that is the way back to where I would have come from, so obviously it's closed, because it was closed at the other end. But hopefully that now means that I can follow the continuation of the route back down the hill, and the bit between here and Lillehammer will be open, because look, there's no snow, hardly anything at all, just the odd little white dapple here and there. Positive thoughts, people, positive thoughts, come on. Yeah, so technically if you were following the TET properly, you would come exactly on this little bit of road here, having crossed over those apparently beautiful mountains. I cannot confirm or deny. And then you blast down this hill to Lillehammer. Well, I think that's Lillehammer, which means the last little bit that I thought was part of the trail is actually on road. Oh, so that's a bit of a disappointment. So, here's what I'm going to do. Let's stop somewhere, grab myself a hot drink, because I've chilled off a little bit, and then have a reevaluate, really deeply contemplate some of my life decisions, figure out what to do next, and then I will either see you tomorrow for the last little section of this tour, or I'll see you later today for a bit more action. All depends on what the gods have to say in the interwebs. So hang around until after this blackness, and my decision will be revealed. Ta-ra! Oh, right then. Smash some more juice in the bike. It turns out there is no accommodation in Lillehammer that I can afford, and the campsite which I have earmarked for tonight's potential accommodation very conveniently aren't answering the phone, but it's on my route anyway, so I'm going to go and give it a chance. And while it's raining, if I'm going to get wet, I may as well get muddy while I'm doing it. I've already copped some flack from Ian back home when I sent him a picture of the bike, and he said, well, the panniers look a bit clean. Cheeky sod. But the weather's taken a nasty turn, so I don't want to hang around here anyway. See if I can get out from underneath this. There's brighter skies over there, and that's pretty much the direction I'm going to be heading in. After a little segue up there, and then hopefully down there through the hills. I think I need to go up here for some reason. Immediately gaining altitude in the wet. Let's try and get up above the clouds. I would say I'd like to get my head down somewhere before it gets dark as well, but to be honest, it just doesn't get dark here. I've been up at midnight still a couple of times on this trip, and it's still light enough that you can see what you're doing outside. You could probably even drive without your headlights on. But if this last little trail is also stenked, then that will potentially be it for potential off-road opportunities on this little journey, unless I can find something on the way home tomorrow. I mean, I'll be honest, I haven't looked. I planned for tomorrow just to be a tarmac blast down to the ferry, so perhaps I can have a look and see if I can find some gravelly alternatives instead of the tarmac. I do feel still somewhat unsatisfied with the amount of dirt that this bike has seen on this trip. I mean, still obviously exponentially more dirt than I've seen on a motorbike in my entire life, but not quite what I was hoping for. Although it speaks volumes as well for this machine and how much more suitable it is for the kind of riding that I do, that I'm now on 440 kilometers on the trip. When I was in Norway last year with Ian, we were doing between 200 and 300 a day, and I was absolutely at the end of every single day, whereas I still feel pretty fresh, to be fair. No aches, no pains. This bike is a mile-munching master, it really is. It's exactly the bike I probably should have had many, many years ago. Don't know why I kept on resisting this adventure thing. People kept on telling me it was the way to go. Incidentally, as far as I know, this road is actually part of the Tet as well, so this is something that you would see if you were to follow the route from start to finish. But it carries on, and from what I could see on the map, it looked insanely wriggly. But I didn't come here for insanely wriggly tarmac, especially not in the rain with knobbly tyres, so skipping that off, that's the section that I completely missed out because I wasn't interested. I wanted to head straight for the dirt. Ironically, could have planned things a bit differently in hindsight, but there you go. Well, there's a lot of stuff there locked off. Yeah, the ride up is quite good though, despite the rain. Snow all over the place up here as well. It was obvious, wasn't it? Why was this bit going to be any different? Yeah. It's a sad end to my off-road hopes. But an end it is. A red and white stripy end, no less. Very disappointing, but that's what it is, I suppose. Still hope for tomorrow. Might be able to find something, but for now, I'm just going to plan the fastest route possible to my accommodation. With this weather, with the failing light, the video's just going to look rubbish, so I will catch you tomorrow morning, fill you in about what happened, where I ended up staying, and what I managed to find to plan for tomorrow's adventures. So until then, thanks for watching. See you next time. Ta-ra.